Welcome back, everybody. Today we're going to be diving into
the world of YouTube.
and influencer culture.
Right.
It's a space where like millions of viewers connect with their favorite creators. But you know what happens when those bonds, those parasocial bonds, are tested by some serious allegations?
Oh, yeah.
That's what we're going to be unpacking today, looking at Cody Ko and
interesting.
his recent return after a 5-month hiatus following accusations that really rocked his career.
You know, this is really fascinating to me because it really highlights how complex online fame is.
Right.
What does accountability even mean when you've got a digital age where fans feel so invested?
Yeah, they feel like they know these people.
Exactly.
You might know Cody Ko for his comedic videos. He gets millions of views.
Huge.
Before all this happened, he was generally seen as like
A good guy.
a positive figure.
Yeah, a good guy on YouTube.
In the YouTube community, right?
Yeah.
So July of this year, things took a dark turn when Tana Mongeau, who you know is another YouTuber.
Very outspoken.
Very outspoken, yeah.
Yeah.
She claimed that Ko had admitted to committing statutory rape.
Whoa, and she said this on a podcast.
On a podcast, yeah. So the internet, as you can imagine, went crazy.
Oh, yeah.
This wasn't just some passing comment.
No.
She actually alleged that this confession was caught on video.
Oh, wow.
During a private conversation.
So there's evidence somewhere.
Potentially, right?
Yeah.
But it's important to note that no legal charges have been filed against Cody Ko. But the court of public opinion, especially when it's fueled by social media, can be so powerful.
It's huge.
So within hours, hashtags like
it's all the
cancel Cody Ko.
Yeah.
Were trending on platforms like X, you know, formerly Twitter. Reddit threads were blowing up with discussions dissecting his past humor, trying to find
trying to find like
any hints,
little clues.
Yeah, potentially problematic content that might align with these allegations.
It's so interesting how when these things happen, people go back and try to reinterpret everything.
It's like they're looking at it through a new lens.
Totally.
Like, can we separate the art from the artist?
Yeah, is that even possible?
Or does everything become tainted?
Right?
You know, it's a tough question.
Yeah.
I think a lot of people were grappling with this, especially those who, you know, had a strong connection.
Yeah, felt like they knew him.
To his content. But what was almost more shocking than the initial reaction was Cody Ko's response.
Oh, really?
Or should I say lack of response.
Okay.
He went totally silent and disappeared from his main YouTube channel for 5 months.
That's a long time.
That's an eternity in the world of online content creation.
It is.
I mean, that's like dog years.
Yeah.
So the Tab, which is like a digital media outlet.
I've heard of it.
They follow internet culture really closely.
Yeah.
They reported that Ko's retreat was the sharpest decline in public favor for a creator of his size in recent memory. So that was a very clear sign that these allegations were having a very serious impact.
Yeah, nobody wants to see their favorite creator fall from grace like that.
No, it's got to be tough for him.
Yeah.
So after 5 months of radio silence, Cody Ko finally resurfaced December 23rd.
Okay.
With a video simply titled, "Let's Talk."
Okay.
But he didn't post this to his main channel.
Oh, really?
He posted it to a secondary channel with a much smaller audience.
Interesting.
Seemed like a very deliberate choice.
Oh, for sure. I mean, I wonder if he was maybe trying to control the initial wave of reactions.
Yeah.
Maybe limit the comments.
Right.
By choosing like a smaller platform.
It makes you think.
Definitely.
And the video itself was only a minute long.
Really?
Which, you know, again, further limited the scope of his message.
So what did he say in that minute?
He broadly denied the allegations, but he didn't really give any specifics or really address the seriousness of the accusations head on.
Oh.
He mainly focused on how the situation impacted him. His mental health, his career, you know, the toll it had taken on his life.
It sounds like he was trying to elicit sympathy.
Right.
And maybe deflect some of the blame by not really engaging with the accusations, but rather leaning into how it made him feel.
And a lot of people picked up on that online.
Oh, really?
The comments were flooded with criticisms.
Oh, wow.
Calling his response insulting. Half-hearted.
Yeah.
A clear attempt to sweep this under the rug.
It's kind of a classic example of what we see in influencer culture.
Yeah, right.
When a creator is accused of something, they often try to control the narrative by
becoming the victim. Right.
Appealing to their fans' loyalty and empathy.
But in this case, it seems like a significant chunk of his audience wasn't buying it.
Interesting.
But it wasn't all negative.
Okay.
Some of his most dedicated fans expressed relief at his return,
Okay.
defending him,
Yeah.
pointing to the lack of legal action as proof of his innocence.
You know, it shows just how powerful those parasocial relationships can be.
They really are.
Yeah.
So how do we reconcile that feeling with the gravity of the allegations?
Right.
Where do we draw the line between supporting someone we admire
Yeah.
and holding them accountable for their actions?
Yeah. It's tough.
It's a complex situation.
It really is.
And there are no easy answers.
Yeah. Imagine you've been watching somebody's videos for years.
Right.
You laugh with them. You relate to their experiences.
You feel like you know them.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's natural to develop that sense of loyalty,
Right.
maybe even protectiveness.
Yeah.
So when they're accused of something bad, it's hard to be objective.
Yeah, it's like, how could this person that I've welcomed into my home
Right.
do something like that?
It feels personal.
Yeah.
It's like a betrayal.
So how do we navigate these parasocial relationships
Yeah.
in a way that's both healthy and responsible?
Right. How do we separate our emotional connection to somebody from our critical thinking?
Right.
These are challenges that I think we're going to have to address more and more as influencer culture.
As it evolves,
Exactly. And these situations become more common.
it's a lot to think about.
Yeah.
And we're just getting started.
Or we're just scratching the surface.
When we come back, we'll delve deeper into the wider implications of this case.
Yeah.
And explore how it reflects a broader pattern
Yeah. I'm interested in that.
within influencer culture.
Okay.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into this Cody Ko controversy
Yeah.
and what it reveals about influencer culture.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
It really is. And I think one of the things that stood out to me most
Mm-hmm.
is that this situation really exposes the challenges of holding these influencers accountable in this digital age.
It is tricky
It is.
because, when traditional celebrities
Yeah.
face scandals,
Right.
they're usually established systems of accountability, right?
Yeah.
Like legal proceedings, pressure from studios or sponsors,
Right.
industry sanctions.
Right.
But with influencers, it's a lot more.
It's way more diffuse.
Yeah.
It really is.
Their power comes directly from their audience.
Right. And platforms like YouTube,
Yeah.
they really prioritize creator autonomy
Right.
over strict oversight.
Exactly. So even if an influencer loses some followers or sponsors,
Right.
they can still maintain a career.
Especially if their core fan base remains loyal.
Yeah, especially if they have that core group.
Yeah, and we've seen this happen time and time again.
Oh, yeah.
With these influencer controversies.
Yeah.
They do a brief apology, maybe a strategic hiatus,
Right.
a carefully orchestrated return, and then
It's like nothing happened.
like nothing happened.
It's swept under the rug.
And oftentimes the platform itself,
Yeah.
in this case YouTube,
Right.
they remain silent or offer only vague statements about,
Community guidelines.
yeah.
Which doesn't really address the core issue.
It feels like this lack of decisive action from the platforms
Right.
contributes to a culture where the consequences seem minimal.
Yeah. And the creators feel
Like
like
they can weather any storm.
yeah, they can get away with anything.
And it puts the onus on the viewer
The viewers, yeah.
to make sense of these often conflicting narratives
Yeah.
and figure out how to reconcile their own emotional attachments
Right.
to these figures with the accusations that have been made.
It's tough.
It is tough, which brings us back to this idea of parasocial relationships
Yes.
and how they play a role in all of this.
huge role.
Huge role. And this is where it gets really interesting.
It does because these relationships,
Yeah.
while often appearing harmless,
Right?
can actually create a blind spot.
For the viewers.
Yeah.
So you're saying that spending hours watching someone's videos,
Uh-huh.
feeling like you're getting to know them, sharing in their successes and struggles,
Right.
can hinder our ability to see them clearly.
It can.
Wow.
Think about it. You relate to their stories.
Yeah.
You laugh with them.
Uh-huh.
You may even feel like you're part of their lives.
Right.
So it's only natural to develop that sense of loyalty
Mm.
and even protectiveness towards them.
And when that person is accused of something serious,
Yeah.
it can be really hard to square that information with the image you've built up in your mind.
Absolutely.
It almost feels personal, doesn't it?
Yeah, it feels like a betrayal.
Yeah, so you might find yourself downplaying the allegations,
Uh-huh.
focusing on the lack of concrete evidence,
Right.
or even actively defending the influencer against criticism.
It's a natural human response.
It is.
To want to protect the people we care about.
Right.
The people we feel close to.
Exactly. And I feel like that is exactly the dynamic that Cody Ko might be relying on
Totally.
in this
Mm.
situation.
By focusing on his suffering.
Yeah.
By presenting himself as the victim of these false accusations,
Right.
he's appealing to that well of empathy that his fans have.
He's sidestepping the need to address the allegations directly.
Right.
Because he's banking on that fact that his most loyal followers will give him the benefit of the doubt.
Exactly. And that's a powerful tactic.
It is.
If enough people believe your narrative, if enough people are willing to forgive and forget,
Yeah.
then you can essentially write your own redemption story.
But that brings up a whole host of ethical considerations.
It does.
Does the court of public opinion supersede actual accountability?
That's the question, isn't it?
It is. It's a slippery slope.
It is.
It really is.
It suggests that in the world of online influence,
right.
accountability is more about perception
Then actual
than
actions.
actual consequences.
Which makes me wonder, what responsibility do these platforms like YouTube have
Right.
to ensure that creators are held accountable
Yeah, for their actions.
for their actions both online and offline?
That's a huge question that needs to be addressed.
It does.
How can platforms balance creator autonomy
Right.
with their responsibility to protect their users
Yeah.
and foster a safe and ethical online environment?
And on the other side of that,
Yeah.
how do we as viewers become more critical consumers of content online?
Right. How do we recognize the potential for manipulation?
Right. And bias.
Yeah, even from creators we feel connected to.
It's about developing those media literacy skills.
Yes.
Being aware of the persuasive techniques used by these influencers and recognizing that these parasocial relationships,
Right. Yeah.
while powerful,
They are.
shouldn't override our critical thinking.
Exactly. You have to engage that critical
So
thinking.
do. So it sounds like this isn't just about Cody Ko.
No, this is much bigger.
This is a much larger conversation
It's about the whole landscape.
about how we navigate the complexities of influencer culture
Yes.
and the evolving nature of these online relationships.
It's fascinating.
It is. It's absolutely fascinating.
It's about demanding more transparency, more accountability,
Yeah,
a deeper understanding of the forces that shape our perceptions and beliefs.
it really is. And it's a conversation we need to keep having.
We do.
So when we come back, we'll wrap up our deep dive by considering what Cody Ko's case might tell us about the future
Okay.
of influencer culture and what we can learn from all of this.
Yeah.
Stick with us. Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into this whole Cody Ko controversy.
Yeah.
We've talked about the allegations, the social media firestorm,
Right.
his attempt to return, the complex dynamics of influencer culture. But I think the question on everyone's mind is, what does this mean for the future?
Yeah. Where do we go from here?
Is this like a turning point or
Yeah.
just another bump in the road for online fame?
I think it's interesting because I think it speaks to a larger shift that's happening
Okay.
in how audiences engage with influencers.
Yeah.
You know, we're seeing a growing awareness, I think,
Okay.
of the constructed nature of these online personas and the potential for manipulation.
So you're saying the era of blindly trusting influencers is over?
I think it's waning, for sure. Yeah.
Interesting.
Viewers, especially younger generations,
Right.
they've grown up immersed in digital media.
They've never known anything else.
Exactly. They're much more discerning.
Okay.
They understand the nuances of online communication.
The power of algorithms and
Right.
how these narratives can be shaped.
It's like they have a built-in BS detector.
They do. They can sniff it out,
Yeah.
and they are much less forgiving of influencers who try to gloss over serious issues
Yeah.
or fail to live up to the values that they project.
So in a way, Cody Ko's case feels like a test case for this new era of influencer accountability.
It does. Yeah.
Like his minimal apology,
Right.
his focus on his suffering.
That might have worked in the past,
Right.
but I think it's clear that a lot of viewers,
Even those who are fans.
yeah, even his fans aren't buying it.
They're demanding more transparency,
Yeah.
more genuine engagement, a willingness to address these questions head on.
And I think rightfully so.
Yeah.
I think what this signals is that influencers who want to have a career in this space,
Right.
they're going to need to embrace a different approach.
Okay, what does that look like?
I think it's an approach that prioritizes authenticity.
Recognizes that their actions, both online and offline, have consequences.
So moving beyond that carefully curated persona
Yeah.
and showing up as a real person,
Flaws and all.
flawed and all.
And being willing to be held accountable for their mistakes.
Because at the end of the day, the audience knows
They can tell.
if someone's being genuine or if they're just trying to protect their brand.
They know.
But it's not just about the creators, though, right?
No, it's a two-way street.
We also have a responsibility as viewers
Absolutely.
to be mindful of these parasocial relationships.
Yes, because they're powerful.
They are very powerful.
We have to remember that influencers, while they can be entertaining and inspiring,
Yeah, we relate to them.
they're not our friends.
Right.
And our emotional connection to them should not prevent us from thinking critically.
About their actions.
Yeah, exactly.
So it's about finding that balance between enjoying their content and recognizing that these are businesses.
They are.
Carefully crafting an image and message for an audience.
Absolutely. And we are consuming that content.
We are.
We have to be savvy about it.
Question those narratives.
Yes.
Seek out diverse perspectives and hold our favorite creators to a higher standard.
I think that's key.
So what can we take away from all of this?
Well,
If Cody Ko's case is any indication, it seems like the future of influencer culture is going to be shaped by both creators and their audiences demanding more.
Accountability, transparency.
And that's a good thing.
It is.
It is, because ultimately this is about creating a healthier, more responsible digital space.
Where genuine connection can thrive.
Well said. So, as you continue to explore this vast world of online content,
Right. It's huge.
remember to stay curious.
Yeah.
Stay critical.
And keep asking questions.
The world of influencer culture is constantly evolving.
It's a wild world.
It really is, and it's up to all of us to shape its future.
We have a role to play.
We do.
Most importantly, have fun
Yeah.
and enjoy the ride.
That's a wrap on this deep dive.
It was a good one.
It was a good one. We'd love to hear your thoughts on all of this.
Yes.
Head over to our social media and share your take.
Let us know what you think.
Until next time, keep diving deeper.